Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the hottest topics in retrieval augmented generation, also known as RAG, and the topic is re-rankers. Specifically, I'll walk you through the best re-rankers which are available in August 2025, which some of them I have personally tested, but some of them I know my colleagues and my friends are using those re-rankers. So yeah, let's get started. And I'll also try to answer some of the questions around how you can pick the right one for your projects. So essentially, before we even start anything, in fact, I think I need to spend some time on making sure that all of you are on the same page in terms of understanding where re-ranking fits into the whole RAG pipeline. So in the RAG pipeline, the first stage is the retrieval stage, where we, based on the user query, we extract the relevant documents or document chunks from our vector store or vector databases, whatever you like to call that, and then we augment that. So augmentation can be replaced by context also. So retrieval contextual generation or retrieval augmented generation, both are same word. So augmentation means we take the query and we provide the context also, the document context that we retrieved, and then we pass those whole things in the to the LLM in the generation stage. So essentially we begin by retrieving some, say, top 50 relevant results. Now we don't know which results are best, because in the LLM passing stage, LLM will utilize those documents. So if we pass it wrong documents, it will give us wrong output. So that is why we need to make sure that we pass relevant documents. So to bring that relevancy, we re-rank the results. And the way re-rank works is, it takes the query, it takes the retrieve results, and it tries to see, this re-ranking pipeline tries to see which of the documents is basically best one to answer the query, answer whatever is being discussed in the query. And there are variety of methods, as we will see later. So then pass the refined top 10 to the LLM, and then LLM generates, and this is the G of the RAG. Okay, so let's now move on to the next slide, where we discuss briefly why re-rankers matter. Okay, so first thing first, why do re-rankers even matter? Okay, when we use vector search, our retriever fetches a bunch of results, right? Maybe let's say top 50, which we already saw before. Now, not all of them are equally relevant, right? But not all of them are so what I am trying to say is, out of the 50, there could be a chance that in the retrieval stage, because retrieval stage is mostly about computing similarity of query embedding to the documents embedding. So it might happen that based on some term match or term union, the document is present in my retrieval stage, but that might not be relevant to answer my query. So that's where re-rankers come in. They reorder or filter those retrieved results. So for example, if I have 50 documents, it will just reorder them, putting the most useful ones right at the top. What are the benefits? Higher precision, fewer hallucination in RAG, and much better use of the limited context window in LLMs. And that is the most important point, okay? Because re-rankers optimize the utilization of LLM's context window. Although nowadays we are seeing models such as Gemini 2.5 Pro, which has 1 million token context window, even that is not sufficient to hold the entire knowledge that your organization might be saving in their documentation. So that's where we need to, and also we have seen in many research papers that flooding LLMs with more context actually decreases the performance. So we want to optimize the prompts that we write. So hence it enhances the overall relevance of information for users. Okay. Now you can think of re-rankers are as just like Google search. You don't just want the results, you also want the best ranked results. Okay, let's talk briefly about re-ranker categories. Okay, re-rankers are not all the same, broadly we can group them into few categories, and here I have listed those categories. The first one are cross encoders and sentence transformers. Now they are very fast and reliable, and they are widely used in open source community. Okay, and they are created from a very simple concept which we can delve into later, as that is not the scope of this video. And then we have got multi-vector models like Colbert and FlashRank. Colbert and FlashRank are, so these what they do is they break documents into multiple vectors. So rather than giving you one vector, they give you multiple vectors and are super efficient. Okay, then we have got fine-tuned LLMs. Now you can take the existing LLM and you can fine-tune it to kind of perform better re-ranking, and that is also something which you can consider, and it can potentially give you a high accuracy but are very costly. And you need to differentiate between fine-tuned LLMs and LLMs as judge. These two are not same. In the LLMs as judge, what we do is we pass those basically what we do is we pass those documents, the query, to basically let LLM decide which documents are relevant, although they are very expensive and they are not very good to use, and in fact they might not be very you can say because they are not solving the real problem. Real problem is that we can't fit all the documents in the context window of the LLM at the generation stage. But now we are talking about LLM as judge, which basically is a contradiction, right? Then we have got several APIs from companies like Gina, Voyage, Mixbread, Cohere. So these companies use simple API interfaces which you can utilize to implement re-ranking in your projects. Okay, now let's move on to some of the popular re-rankers which are available out there in 2025, which are being used extensively. As of 2025, the top re-rankers that you will see everywhere are, first one is Cohere re-rank, which leads in by far, which is most widely used. Then we have got our open source comparative re-ranker, which is called BGE re-ranker. Then we have got Voyage and Gina, and then Colbert and Mixbread. Okay, each of these has slightly different strengths, but overall they are the most commonly recommended for real world RAG pipelines. I have personally used BGE re-ranker a lot because this is open source and you can use these open source re-rankers easily with any open source toolkits. So let me show you the toolkits. So there are several toolkits which are available out there. We have these toolkits that make re-ranking easier, you can say. Rank LLM is basically a kind of feature which lets you plug in LLMs as re-rankers in a clean pipeline. Okay, now this allow you to basically do the ranking in a LLM driven way. Okay, the way that we discussed here is that LLM as judge. Okay, now we have got Rankify. Rankify is another. It unifies retrieval, re-ranking and generation in one modular framework. So it is kind of a one package which does it all. There are also other projects like AutoRag and Swirl that lets researchers experiment with different re-rankers without reinventing the wheel. Okay, so yeah, so this is all about open source re-ranking, but I would like to mention one package called Fast Embed. Now this package is a really cool package which offers you several re-ranking models. Let me show you what are the models. So you can see supported re-ranking cross encoder models. So we have got Gina and we have got BGE. So whenever I have to use BGE, I usually go for Fast Embed, and it's really easy to integrate with your existing stack. Okay, because they offer a really good way to call these through Python SDKs. Okay, so now enterprises are also adopting re-rankers quickly. For example, Elasticsearch now comes with semantic re-ranking built in, and it even integrates with RankGPT through Llama Index. Databricks, for example, just rolled out their Mosaic AI re-ranker in August 2025. with a single parameter, you can boost retrieval accuracy by around 15 percentage points. Latency is really good too, which is about I guess 1.5 seconds, even for let's say 50 documents. And yes, it works out of the box with LangChain and agents. Okay, so yeah, so Databricks, this particular thing is very recent, and yeah, so I think we are seeing lots of APIs and enterprise re-rankers which are getting available daily. Now let's briefly talk about the part which matters most for everyone, and that is trade-offs. Okay, if I talk about open source re-rankers, BGE, okay, they are really efficient in a way that they are very small, because let's say if I look at the size of BGE is 1 GB, which is very easy to fit in any machine. And you can see there are several re-rankers which are in MBs, megabytes, such as this one is 130 megabyte, 150 megabyte, and then the most sophisticated one is actually 1 GB, which is quite reasonable, right? So they are basically offering you a budget friendly setup, a efficient setup. Now if I talk about LLM as judge models, they do provide you accuracy, but they are very expensive. And even if you talk about fine tuning an LLM, that is also going to be quite expensive and time consuming. Then we have got API based re-rankers like Coher or Gina. They give you a nice balance of performance and cost, but if you want to scale, that API based approach might not be the best one. Okay, then we have got enterprise SaaS re-rankers, which are scalable and integrated options. Okay, so some of the recommendations, some of the re-ranker recommendations for individuals or researchers: use BGE. As I am also working on some of my personal projects, I usually go for BGE and or Colbert. They are very good for individual needs. For reasoning heavy tasks, you can go for ASRank or JudgeRank. These are pretty solid tools. And if you have a use case which requires you to use let's say integrate re-ranking in your existing stack or application, you might be going for enterprise solutions like Coher, Xena, or maybe something like Databricks Mosaic AI. Okay, now finally, what is the future like for re-rankers? Now looking ahead, re-rankers will only get more important, because see, this is very important task, right? To pass the relevant context to the LLM for the generation part. Because if we are not succeeding in this step, whatever LLM is going to generate can't be trusted, right? So we'll see more hybrid models that combine retrieval with reasoning. Latency will drop, making let's say real time agents possible, and most vector databases will probably ship with rankers as a default feature. So expect re-ranking to become a standard part of any serious RAG system. Okay, so I think that would be it. If I have to wrap up this discussion, re-rankers make RAG work. Without them, your system is like a search engine with no ranking. So you might get all the relevant documents, but not in the correct order. So it is technically functional, but practically very weak system. So yeah, I think that would be it. And if you found this breakdown of re-rankers useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll keep bringing you more deep dives into the world of AI and machine learning. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.